Hi, this is Karen from Mojo Global. Welcome to the Mojo Show. Today we have as our honored guest, Deano Sutter. Deano, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Karen. I'm really excited about this.
Well, I've been looking forward to this since I met you on the welcome call. So welcome. And would you please tell our audience what you do for your clients?
Sure. So I'm an executive life coach. A lot of people ask, what does that mean? So I help executives and high net worth individuals get unstuck. They've usually achieved some version of financial and career success that they've always wanted. They look great on paper, but there's something missing. They feel stuck or lost or depleted in some area of their life, and they need clarity on the way forward. So I help them understand how to diffuse the past or the programs from the past that are holding them back in their present and begin to design new programs for their future. So my philosophy is your brain is a supercomputer, which means that it has endless capacity to process any program you feed it and create any reality or future you want. Sounds good, right? But there's a catch. Just like a computer, it only processes the programs you feed it. And it doesn't know the difference between healthy or unhealthy, right or wrong, good or bad. So it will process a virus the same as your browser. And over 90% of the programs you run on a daily basis are on autopilot, stored in your subconscious, many created when you were a child. The more you repeat the program, the stronger it becomes. So I help people first discover and diffuse the programs from the past that are not serving their present. And then I help them define and design the programs that will create the future that they've dreamed of. And through it, help them become the best version of themselves.
So Deano, that is so interesting because I think a lot of us suffer from childhood trauma, maybe not all of us, and we can be the most successful person in the world, but there's still part of us that has not grown or has not changed since childhood. So it's very exciting for me to hear how you can help someone. Can you give us an example, maybe not the person's name, but how you've been able to help someone else?
Sure. Actually, what I'll do first is what you were just saying is so interesting. Yes, there are traumas or imprints, is what I call them, programs that were created in your youth that dictate your today. And I'll give you a couple examples of how we can see that in everyday life. Have you ever heard a word or been in a situation where your anger scale goes from 0 to 100 in a millisecond and it doesn't quite equate to the surroundings or the word or the environment around you? Or someone can look at you and immediately feel stupid, or you can feel ugly, or you walk into a room and you immediately felt unseen or unworthy. Those are what we call triggers, and they're tied to old programs that were imprinted on us at that early age, unhealthy narratives that, again, are dictating our present. So you asked me for example. I just wanted to give you that because I think everybody understands triggers, but we don't always understand where they come from. And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll believe that that is who we are, that is how we're created. Because we've repeated it so much so, we just feel like that's part of our personality, but it doesn't have to be. There is freedom from those things. And I'll give you an example. So one of my clients is a very successful CEO, is worth 8, 9 digits, is fantastic, but he was having issues. And so he came to me, and on day one of us meeting, because he heard about my program, got super excited about it, but at the same time, fear crept in. He basically told me at the beginning, he said, wait, before we even start, I need to tell you a few things. Number one, I drink every day, at least 4 or 5 whiskeys every night. I dabble in drugs. I hire escorts from time to time, and I don't plan on changing. So if you expect me to change, then we might as well just stop right now. And I told him what I tell all my clients. I'm not here to change you. I'm here to equip you to become the best version of you. If the best version of you is this, then God bless. Not my job. My job is just to give you the tools to become who you want to be. And basically, what happened was within a month, he had stopped drinking during the weekdays. He hadn't touched drugs or hired anyone. And his good friends told him, you are so different. I don't recognize you. Can we please keep this version? And he literally told me that in one of our sessions. And I said, well, how do you feel about that? And he said, I finally feel like I'm in control of my life for the first time. So it was powerful. And what's amazing is it didn't just go into his personal life. It wasn't just about the interactions he was having, whether he originally come to me because he was having issues in his dating life. But what he found was this catered over to every aspect of his life, his relationships with his friends, his relationships with his family, his coworkers, and his team. And then also in the boardroom, he was having some challenges in the boardroom with some of the board members. Once he made the shift, he said everything became easier. It all started to make sense. It became more aligned. And now his board is his biggest fan. His team are his biggest fans. He came to me for his personal issues and realized that it translates and transcends across everything because everything is based on relationships. And once you know who you are and you can align to it, then everything else will fall in line as well.
I am so happy that you spent more time on that question because I know for a fact very successful people, very high achievers who have one part of their life that isn't resolved yet. And like you said, the issue is you don't realize it. You don't realize where it came from or how to stop it. It's almost as if you feel helpless in that situation. Your example of going from zero to like white hot anger is such a good one. And I think it's relatable to at least some people because it's not the person they really want to be. And I happen to know that you have a great passion for doing this. You've been on television, you've modeled, you've had a very successful career, Deano, but you are choosing to do this and have been successful at this for a while. Why did you walk away from what you were doing to start helping people in this way? Because from what you've told me, most of your life has been about helping people.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's funny, my passions in the beginning of my career are now matched with my passions at the end of my career. Beyond some acting and modeling, I also was an entrepreneur, had successful startups, and had a number of challenges as well during that entire time. But I think when it comes back to the core of it, I've always been looking for a solution for myself, solution to my problem. And what I originally had thought was my problem was not correct. I think a lot of times we always want to make something external or other people's opinions of us become this problem. And we're always looking for a solution to it. If I just do this, if I have this, if I make this, once I buy this, and we are constantly chasing after this thing out there, when the solution to our problem has never been about the external, it's always been about the internal. And it's really always has been about our self-worth. The problem that I perceived in my youth and throughout my 20s and 30s was never really my problem. My problem was I never felt good enough. And I didn't know how to reconcile that. And I will say I've been working on myself for 20 to 30 years. I've had many significant challenges that have come in my life. I've been in a major motorcycle wreck where I was in a wheelchair for 6 months, another 6 months not walking normal, another year and a half of physical therapy to get back to 85% of my health. And I've had deaths that have happened early in my life. With one example is my father, but others I've had roadblocks, I've had toxicity, I've had people steal, 6-figure sums of money from me and my companies before. I've had challenges. So my life has not been easy. And challenges never make you stronger. It's only what you do with the challenges that can make you stronger. And in order to do something positive with it, you have to have a mind shift. You have to believe you're enough. And you have to believe that everything in the world is for you, not against you. And so once I could start to shift my mindset and shift my alignment to that, then things started to open up. And once it started working for me, of course, I shared it with all my friends. And as I shared it with my friends, they were like, Deano, we pay people lots of money to not be as clear and concise as you are in the advice and the tools that you're giving us. Why aren't you doing this all full time? And that was my own limiting belief, because I didn't think people would pay me for what I was built to do. But that's no longer the issue. So by overcoming my own limiting beliefs, my own old programs that were imprinted when I was young, I was able to come to the other side and start helping others become who they were meant to be as well. And it's amazing.
I think this is so fascinating speaking with you, and it speaks truth to me, and very grateful that you were on the show today, Deano. If someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
So I'm on LinkedIn, which is a great way, just Deano Sutter, and you'll see the spelling Deano Sutter. You can also reach me by sending me a text message to 818-209-6566, or you can reach out at hello@deanosutter.com. I'm sure those will all be available in the bottom. And I do, just to let you guys know, for my program is a 12-week program specifically designed to help people start to discover and diffuse the past programs so that they can start to define and design the programs that will serve their future. And that is a 12-week program. So in order to be part of that, we have to meet on a discovery call to see if we're both a fit.
That's great that you're willing to speak to someone on a discovery call. And just from my somewhat limited knowledge of you, I have to say to our listeners, I would absolutely call Deano in a heartbeat. He's the real deal. From the moment I started speaking to him, he is the real deal. I know that he helps a lot of people. So thank you so much for being on the show today, Deano.
Thank you.
And to our listeners, we appreciate you. We thank you for listening again, and we look forward to bringing you the next Mojo Global radio show. Bye-bye.